107.7 The Bronc and 107.7thebronc.com are recognized by Radio World Magazine as one of the most spectacular new radio studios in the U.S. and the world. I am Bezan, and welcome to Hometown Hits, where we interview artists from Philly, New York, and New Jersey. Today I have in the studio Bronc alumni Ryan with his band Catch Me As You Can. Did I say that properly? It's a band, right?
Yeah, no, it's just me.
It's just you?
How you doing?
So yeah, try to catch him if you can, ladies and gentlemen. You can't. He's too fast.
Oh, man, the amount of jokes that I could make about my name.
So welcome back. I'm glad you can make it down to the studio, to your old stomping grounds.
Yeah, it's changed a lot. Like, all you listeners are getting a real treat from what it used to be. This is a really awesome station.
And I want to say this now so anyone who's listening can make sure they're here at the end of the hour. Ryan's going to be performing as well, a little 3-song set at the end of this hour. So make sure you listen to the whole hour while you're here with us. And I'm very excited about that because that's my first live performance on my show personally.
I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, very welcome. So tell me a little bit about your time here at 107.7 before we get into your artistry.
Well, back in my day, I was in 2010. I started school at Rider as a radio TV major, and then I didn't know what I wanted to do really, so I stumbled in the radio station. And John, who was the GM, he kind of welcomed everyone. He was like, "Start shows, do stuff, get involved." So I started a punk rock show, kind of like what you're doing now, and then I became the music director. And record labels still email me to this day. I had to make a new email.
You can forward them to me. That's
I will. You don't know what you're asking for.
I guess I don't. Yeah.
But yeah. That was pretty much it. I was involved heavily here. I was involved in the TV studio, and then I graduated, and I'm still doing that stuff.
You're still rocking in the free world?
Yeah.
And have you been folk guitaring this whole time?
Since 2012, I did start Catch Me Can in 2012. It kind of was like a extra thing I was doing. And then now 10 years later, the last 5 years, I've really went full force with it. I started playing a lot of shows. I jump around from New York, New Jersey, PA. Haven't gotten farther than that yet, but and then I have an EP that I put out in 2018. I got this new EP coming out in November.
Ooh.
And I dropped a bunch of singles during the pandemic because I was bored.
That's the beautiful thing about working by yourself. Like, my band was completely stuck in a standstill when people like you were cranking out songs, I bet.
Yeah, I guess that is the good thing about it's a lonely process, but it's also like
definitely
I'm on my own schedule. I can pace it however I need to. So that was one thing that was cool. And then what actually was fun was because, as fun as things could get in 2020, we were doing it all remotely. So I would record the files on my end. I would send it to him. He would do like a rough mix, and then he would send it back, and then I would dub that. It was like so much easier than like driving somewhere and sitting there and like fighting with a click and doing it 15 times while someone's yelling at you.
So you pretty much make a demo in your house and then send it to your recording artist. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, basically. Yeah, I would do the guitar, and then he would just kind of coax me through it through like Zoom and stuff. Yeah,
that's awesome.
It worked out well.
I hate wrestling with DAWs. That's like one of my least favorite things as a songwriter. So I tip my hat to you for being patient.
Yeah, no, he's my friend John. He's a sound genius, and he's done all my music to this point, and he was really good about it, about like kind of like telling me what equipment to buy so it sounded right on his end. And it turned out, like I said, it turned out fun. And he was even added like horns and stuff because he knows I'm like a ska nut, even though I can't be ska without a band.
You can be solo ska. We're changing things in 2023. We're creating new genres.
I can upstroke.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. See, we're halfway there.
I can hum the horn lines, I guess.
Yo, that would be very creative. That'd be a very creative thing just to go.
I'm canceling my release. I'm doing it again.
See, there you go. Ska version of Catch Me As You Can.
Ska acoustic. Ooh.
we're rolling now. Get a notebook and pen out. So let's back up a little bit. When did you start Catch Me If You Can?
2012. I almost said 2002.
And were you always into folk? Was that always the
No,
idea
I was actually really annoying. In high school, I was so like determined that everything, I was so stubborn. I was like, everything's punk that I say is punk, because so I was like, and then once things started becoming like broader, I was like trying to make my definition fit. So like at one point I was like 303 is punk. No, they're not. I was an idiot. But then like I got to college and I started getting like new music presented to me, and then I kind of was like, all right, there's other good stuff too. So, and then I kind of like, for this project, I take influence from folk, I take influence from punk, pop. Like I kind of listen to everything now. And I hate saying that, but I do.
So was there like a defining moment where you like zoned in on your specific style?
Yeah, when I realized that I'm never going to be the guy from Red Hot Chili Peppers. I was like, I'm never going to play guitar like that. So you know what? Let me just stick to like interesting chord progressions, my own interesting strumming, my voice, and see what I can do. And if people like it, I'll keep doing it.
That's so cool, because I totally expected you to come and be like, yeah, I wanted to be exactly like Bob Dylan.
I respect Bob Dylan for sure, but I guess with that, there's certain songs I love by Bob Dylan, and there's certain songs by Bob Dylan I will skip, But everything, I guess I couldn't be me without like someone like Bob Dylan or like Brian Fallon like years later, because I wouldn't have heard that stuff to get me into what I'm into and then ultimately making.
And you were always a solo artist, or did you try to have members as well?
I was for Catch Me If You Can. Yes, I was always solo for Catch Me If You Can. But I was in a couple punk bands after college. One called Wolfosaurus Rex.
Whoa. Pause. That's an awesome name.
Everyone loves the name. It was one of the best 2 years of my life in terms of playing music, because we had a lot of fun. We played a lot of fun shows, and I had a wireless setup. I was running around. That was honestly what was most fun for me. I would be like at the bar before the show, and then after when we were ready to play, I would just hook up my wireless set, and then me drunkenly running around on stage.
You could totally tell when you see a band live if there's a bassist or a guitar player who's really stoked to have a wireless setup.
You can,
because they'll start playing at the bar. They'll start talking to their friends like while they're playing.
Oh, there was so many times where there was like a bass break and it was just bass and drums, and I'm just sitting there like.
That's stage performance, man.
Oh yeah, I one point jumped down. I started hugging people. It was fun.
And where would Wolfosaurus Rex usually play? What was their
Court Tavern in New Brunswick was our spot.
Hell yeah.
We played a lot of places though. We played the Wonder Bar, which was cool.
I remember that spot. Yeah, it's still there.
We never got to the Pony. I was upset about that. I wanted to play there. And then we played in Brooklyn a few times. And in Queens, so we got around PA, so it was a fun band. We were a punk band. Our EP, if you really want to dig for it, I think it's on Bandcamp, and it's just called Wolfosaurus Rex.
I'm definitely looking that up for sure. And Wolfosaurus Rex was a ska band, you said?
No, it was a punk band. It was just a punk band, yeah.
And would you play with other local bands?
All local bands, yeah. Our lead singer, she was the promoter at the Court Tavern, so like
that's never, a big plus.
Yeah,
man.
We were never like short a gig, so. But yeah, that ended in like 2015, and then I was in another band called Mischief Night, which was kind of like a spin-off of that band, and our bassist moved to Virginia, and then it was kind of just like, all right, well, I'm gonna keep doing Catch Me If You Can. You guys have other stuff going on. So then it kind of this became my focus.
Nice, dude. And that's been your focus since 2015, you said?
16, 15, yeah, around there.
So you said a little bit before that you like really amped it up in the last 3-4 years.
Yeah.
What does amping up look like for you?
Well, before the pandemic, like right before it, in 2019, I had a lot of gigs lined up. It wasn't a tour. It was just like, I just had a lot of things ready to go. Mm-hmm. And then obviously they all got canned. But then after that, then I I started recording some stuff during the pandemic, and I kind of lost the steam a little bit there because I was like, who knows how long is this going on? And when it ends, was there going to be anywhere left to play anyway? And glad that wasn't entirely true. But I put out a few singles of the pandemic, which were, like I was talking about, it was a fun experience for what it was. And then after that, I was like 2021, I was a little hesitant to get back out. But then I finally was just like, you know what? I'm going to start writing new stuff. I'm going to get gigs where I can get them. And I started hitting up open mics, honestly, because that's a perfect place to like start just try new stuff, get that energy back too.
That rules that you did that.
Yeah, because, and actually I still do it now because like if I have a gig coming up, what I'll do is I'll go to the open mic to kind of like as a warm up. Like
that's a good idea too,
because it gets me like in front of people, and it at least gets me out of my head. Because I mean, it's not easy to play in front of people. Like I don't care if you've been doing it 15 years. Like it's never like you always have like that voice that's kind of like you're gonna mess up. You're gonna mess up.
I think playing to small audiences is way harder than big audiences
because you can hear what they're saying.
Not only that, you just catch one dude's eyes in the audience, and then you're not even focusing on your instrument anymore.
That judgmental look, and it's like only my dog can give me that look.
All right, well, we'll be back with Ryan after these underwriting announcements. Keep up with The Bronc on social media. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook at 107.7thebronc.com, on Twitter at 107.7 The Bronc FN, and on TikTok at 107.7 The Bronc WRRC. We'll be back with more Hometown Hits after these underwriting announcements. I am Bezan, and welcome back to Hometown Hits, where we have Ryan from Catch Me If You Can in the studio. How's it going again, Ryan?
I'm good.
I said Brian by mistake.
It's all right. I'm used to it. I've been stuck with this near close name to like for a very long time now. You're so good at reading the like underwriting. That was one thing I was terrible at.
Oh, dude, I'm really bad at it. I feel all the time. I feel like I screw up these words.
Nah, it was
screwed
clean.
up orders before. It's always been bad, but I got through it. I only messed up your name this time,
hey,
which is good.
I mean, I'm not the one paying.
Same here. We're all just living in a free world. So I want to talk a little bit about live performances. Before I get into that, I wanted to ask you a little bit about lyrics, because obviously you write a lot. What is kind of your lyric writing process?
I'm wordy. I think a lot of it is mostly, well, for a long time I wanted to be, I still kind of want to be, but I just got realistic about it. I wanted to be a screenwriter. Mm-hmm. So I kind of look at songs as like kind of short stories. So I guess that's why they got so wordy, because I wanted to take that energy and kind of put it into something that I could actually create without spending millions of dollars. So that's kind of where that came from. And I also like a lot of the bands I like are like Streetlight Manifesto and what's another wordy band? Frank Turner, like all of that. Like, so that's where all like paragraph verses came from.
So is every song pretty much a small story that you've encapsulated, or are they part of a bigger story?
No, it's not a concept. It's what comes to mind. Yeah. Or like, it was like how sad I am at the moment. Jeez. Or like how I'm feeling at the moment. It's hard for me to write a happy song. I have one happy song, and I say before I play it live, I'm like, all right, here's my one happy song. Let me get this out of the way.
For everyone to dance to real quick.
It is. Yeah. It's one of my dancier ones.
And that's a great transition. How are live shows going for you right now, this second?
I am averaging one a month. Give or take. August I had 2, so you know I'm
nice, dude.
Getting out there. But like I think we said before the break, like open mics are definitely something I do just to kind of get out again and kind of get that confidence back. But that where I didn't really need open mics before the pandemic because I was going out and playing so much in whether a band or by myself. But yeah, that's pretty much now. Like I'll do pretty much anything. I'm not picky. Like my next gig on September 6th, which is in Union, New Jersey, I'm playing for 2 hours, and it's like a coffee shop gig. And I'll mix it up. I'll play like things like that I'm gonna like from the EP coming out. I'll play Jason Mraz. I'll play Green Day, or I'll just play like some band that you've never heard of, and people just think it's an original.
That's the beauty of knowing a lot of music. You can just throw one out that's not yours at all and just be like, everyone's like, yeah, that guy's really good at songwriting.
Oh yeah, no, I've had people come up to me and just like compliment me. I was like, did you write that? That was so good. And I was like, thanks. Yeah, that wasn't me, but but thanks.
And you're staying in New York right now, right?
Yeah, I live in Queens. I live in Woodside, Queens, if that means anything to anyone.
Shout out Woodside.
Yeah. If you know the 7 train, you know Woodside.
That's right. What's up, Woodside? Shout out to everyone who lives there and listening to 107.7 The Bronc. But do you play a lot of shows there too, or is it mostly
That's
Jersey?
where the open mics are. Mm-hmm. A lot of Queens is like, a lot of it's becoming like a scene now. I've been noticing a lot more gigs. There's one place called Wild Goose, which is like 3 blocks from me. They have shows. Shillelagh Tavern's another one in Astoria, Queens. But yeah, which is great. Like, so if I get like, go to an open mic or get a show there, I don't even have to take a train. I can walk. Like, it's cool.
And you just have an acoustic guitar too.
Yeah, I don't have to cart like a kit or like a bass or like a cab, so it's not bad.
You just plug in directly to the PAs, I imagine, right?
Yeah, DI it.
That's fantastic load in right there.
And the sound guys love it too, because then it's like, I'm easy here.
Do you notice a big difference in reception between New York and New Jersey?
Yeah, a little bit. I always found Jersey likes music maybe a little bit more. I'm not gonna say, I'm not gonna say like New York doesn't, because it obviously does. It's like one of the entertainment capitals of the country. But like, I think it's just with New Jersey, it's because everything's so spread out. Maybe when you go to a bar and there's a band playing, there's more of like an inclination to watch. When in New York, it's like, there's a band here. I can go to the bar 2 doors over and see that band as well. So it's like, oh, this is a thing to look at here. And in New York, it's like another band.
Yeah, I could see the saturation of venues hurting as well as helping.
Yeah.
So it keeps people funneled in. But
so I think that's definitely
variety.
something that I've noticed over the years. But it's not good or bad. Like you said, it could work for you or it could hurt you.
And is there ever sets that you do that are just all originals? This is just me. No covers.
Yes, if I'm feeling frisky.
If you're feeling frisky.
If I feel like that if I feel like the people are there to like for original music, yeah, I'll do it. But if I feel like it's like kind of like a place where I have to grab someone's attention, I'll go for the covers. I have an Eminem cover, and usually that gets people to like.
Oh man, which Eminem cover do you do?
Love the Way You Lie.
Love the Way You... Oh, the Rihanna one, right?
Yeah.
That does sound really good on acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
In your defense.
It was easy because it's already in the song, so I didn't have to like change it from a beat or anything, so it worked out. And then I mashed that up with Jason Mraz, and then I have a bunch of mashups. For a long time, I focused on combining songs and making mashups because it was fun, and because I was still like learning guitar more, and it was like, this chord does this, and like, oh wow, they go into each other so easily. So that was one thing, and it always gets someone's attention, like, wow, I know that song. Wow, he went into that song with that song. Meanwhile, it's the same chords for both songs.
And all of a sudden, you have 3 or 4 people dancing to your tunes.
Yeah, they're all impressed, and it's like yeah, this took minimal effort.
And we talked a lot about the pandemic recently. Have you noticed the difference in people who come to shows now versus, 2 years ago, 3 years ago? Or like a big change in the culture of going to live music?
Yeah. I think now people are just going to be a little more selective about the things that they kind of go to. Like if it's maybe they won't be as inclined to go to like 3 shows in one weekend that are all packed, something like that. But I mean, I guess on the other hand, I've seen people like really appreciate it more because they get to go out more again. I think we're moving away from it, which is good. And I think a lot of that is, so it's fading a little bit, and hopefully it just keeps fading. And then we kind of get back to a thing where gigs are just something we do. It's not like something where you have to like test yourself every few days before or after you go to like a crowded venue.
That's me now. I feel my social battery has gone down significantly. I used to be at like shows every week, and now if there's one a month, I'm just like, all right,
my back.
I gotta buy tickets.
Well, that's another thing. Tickets have gotten so expensive because they're all the places are like trying to like get their pound of flesh.
For real, especially venue fees. I feel I can't.
Oh, it's horrible.
I can't even pay artists usually when I book out a venue nowadays because it costs like $300 to $400 just to book out a venue for a night, and then over cover charges you're left with like $100 at the end of the night.
And I'm one guy, so like if I make $20 to $50, I'm happy. Like it's not hard to please me, but I can only imagine what it's like if you're a band that's coming from another state, whether it's in driving distance or not, and there's like 5 of you and you're getting $20. Like I cannot picture that being at all a good feeling.
And with gas prices right now, it's a big problem.
I'm actually very impressed with myself that I have kind of strategically planned my shows to kind of mitigate that, at least recently. And it wasn't all intentional either. I was like, well, I'm visiting my dad who lives in Old Bridge on this day, and I got the gig the next day, so I'm there. So then I don't have to pay the tolls twice.
Smart. This is next level thinking for a singer-songwriter.
This is how to form a band with Ryan.
Catch him if you can, all right?
Yep.
There's my one pun for the evening. I got it in. And now, after the break, which is going to happen in a little bit, you got a new song you're debuting.
Yep, this Friday, I'm putting out a song called Dead to You. Minus 2 of the songs on the EP. All of the songs I wrote a long time ago, actually. I just never got around to recording them. So Dead to You is one of those old songs. Well, I shouldn't say that. Not got around to recording them well.
That's fair.
But Dead to You is one of those songs, and then the other one that's out right now called Long Island is also.
Yeah, that song rocks, by the way.
Thank you. I like that one a lot. My friends always remind me because I'd be like, I'm Catch Me If You Can from Queens, and then I play, and like this song's called Long Island, and they pointed out to me like, you see why that's confusing, right? Like, but and they always like to remind me I'm not originally from Queens.
You're from Long Island, right? There you go. Song about home.
Yeah, exactly. Even though I grew up with semantics.
It's all New York City, am I right, folks? Am I right?
It depends on how far you go out. Someone would argue that, I'm sure.
To me, all of New Jersey's New Jersey. That's the way I feel about New York City.
I don't know. Can we say Central Jersey's a thing?
Yeah, we can, for sure. But it's still part of New Jersey. You know what I'm saying? So what's Dead to You about?
That one's kind of a mishmash of things, but it's basically, it's kind of about a falling out, more or less, and it kind of turned into a song that took like a zombie horror movie influence, even though it's not like horror punk or anything, but like there's like references to zombies in it. There's references to like, it kind of feels like my Misfits song. Like,
yeah, I guess that's beautiful, man.
Like, I guess that's kind of how I think of it. And, yeah, there's no like deep meaning to it. It's kind of just, I was upset about a falling out and I kind of took that and put it into lyrics in a way.
Nice, dude. And you got a whole project that's coming out soon, or just this single?
This single is Friday. Then I have another one, which is brand new. No one's heard that yet, except I've played it live a couple of times, but no one who will remember it until it's actually digitally available. That's going to be in October, and then in November I'm going to just it's a 6-song release, so they're going to be out there
in November. You said, and where can we catch you? What's the EP going to be called? Let's back up a step. It's
called Reshoots because like I was talking about earlier, they're all older. So this is kind of like their reshoot. And also, like, I work in the entertainment industry, and that's just where my brain was at when I needed
reshot it. Wonderful. All right, so after the break, we're going to have a live performance for you. What songs are you doing after the break?
I'm going to do Long Island, I'm going to do Dead to You, and I'm going to do another one that is on the EP that is not out yet.
Excellent. All right, so stick around after the break. We're going to have Ryan playing live some songs, which is something we haven't done on Hometown Hits before. Very excited about that. It's going to be awesome. Stay tuned. We're going to go into some underwriting announcements. We'll be right back on 107.7 The Bronc and 107.7thebronc.com.